Hi and welcome to the Baltic Football Podcast. The international break is upon us, so there is no better time than now to reflect on the start of season.
It's been a brilliant start to the season so far. Slightly unexpected in things going on.
Really?
The Estonian League isn't quite what we expected. Levadia doing better than we thought. Flora slipping. Virslīga, Riga scraping results, losing results. And then, of course, you got Lithuania, where, Kauno already starting to dominate, been a bit of they got a draw. But we'll go on to that. But what a great start to the Baltic football leagues.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's unexpected though. I mean, Lithuania is exactly as one would predict. And the other two, RFS sits top of Virslīga and Levadia sits, Nõmme Kalju sits top of Premium Liiga at this point.
Yeah, okay, there's some predictability. Did you expect RFS to do as well as they have?
Expect, maybe not the right word. Hoped, yes. But in a sense I did expect. How they finished last season with a 4-3 win over Riga, their preseason was strong. They generally start the season in the way that they have, slow and steady, 1-0 here, 1-0 there, and then a bigger result like the 4-1 against Daugavpils.
Yeah.
What I didn't expect in a positive way is that they will get their defense more or less in order, because last season was terrible. This season they only conceded their first goal in the third round against Daugavpils, and it was a set piece.
RFS, they've gone about their business. They've kept a low profile. They've got rid of the players they didn't want to. They've created immense competition in that central midfield role as well. So looking good, RFS.
Yeah. They still have some players coming back from injury, like Rakic and Lemajic missed the first couple of games.
But he bagged 2 goals last weekend.
Yeah, no, he came back with a bang, and things are looking good.
Got bored on the bench by the looks of things. What's been the biggest surprise for you so far?
In Latvia.
Overall, let's just look at overall anything that's
overall,
surprised you, and then we'll go on and talk about each individual league and all the gossip and things.
I think the biggest surprise for me has been Nõmme Kalju. They are top of Estonian Premium Liiga at the moment. They are the only existing club other than Flora and Levadia to have ever won the Premium Liiga. They've done it twice, but not for a while. And they, as of this recording, as of we're going into the international break, they are the only club across all 3 Baltic top leagues that are yet to concede a single goal.
Yeah, I mean, they are looking strong. They looked strong pre-season. They won the Estonian Super Cup as well.
Yeah.
And they are looking like a team to be reckoned with. And is it too early to predict? Could they
It is too early, but
league?
Pink Panthers, they put the gauntlet down, right? And it's looking interesting.
One team that has stood out for me, well, I've got two surprises this season. FK Auda and the abundance of talent in that team, the speed of that team, and their slightly aggressive nature but we'll go on to that in a little bit. And of course, I think TransINVEST in Lithuania.
Their win over Žalgiris, that was impressive. I think it caught everyone off guard, the 2-1 win.
Yeah.
And there is this trend though in Lithuania that it seems, and TransINVEST has this too, it seems that players who were promising in Virslīga in Latvia but then couldn't really make an impact in the teams there, like Stevenson, who is now in TransINVEST with Auda. He was there for 2 years, I think.
The Haitian striker. Could always get a goal though. Yeah,
but year 1 he had a knee injury and then he was sort of on and off a bit. And then for Kauno Žalgiris you have Karashima back. Previously was a key player for Vilnius Žalgiris.
Played the most minutes in the Kauno squad so far.
Yeah, so now he's key for Kaunas in RFS. He was so bad they sent him to Finland on loan. And Davis Ikonieks, when he was in Šiauliai, he was I think almost the top scorer in the league that season. He showed nothing with RFS.
There's been a lot of Latvian players and Latvian-based players going to Lithuania, actually.
Yeah.
Valmiera offloaded. They got rid of a great attacking Japanese guy.
They have this Carlos Duke.
And there was Carlos Duke, Owusu as well. There was a, I believe he was Gambian. And another Japanese player has gone to Sudova as well. So, yeah, the transition of players out, the exodus of some Latvian players into Lithuania is quite an interesting one.
Yeah, but the interesting is that they then really perform in Toplyga.
Yeah, that's not quite true. Who's a left back at Žalgiris? Vilnius Žalgiris?
I don't know.
From Auda, Portuguese guy.
Oh, Tavares.
Yeah, he didn't quite...
No, but he did really well last season. I think he was one of the standout players for them. Last season was disastrous, granted. And now he just signed with, was it TransINVEST as well, or?
Yeah, he's just, was it possibly TransINVEST?
I'm not sure, yeah, but he signed with another Lithuanian club just now after getting dropped by Žalgiris.
Okay, so let's stick to Lithuanian, the top sports league, or as I like to call it, the Liiga.
Because it's just Toplyga.
Toplyga.
So you got them both wrong.
Okay, right, Toplyga. So Kauno Žalgiris, 16 points. 15 goals, 3 goals conceded. Solid signings, pretty consistent. They got a draw. Home probably playing the largest football stadium in the Baltics, other than I'm not sure.
I think the Darius and Girena Stadium is a bit larger than Alekok Arena. It's certainly way more modern.
It's way more modern, and it's back. They've got a bit more money. They've got 1.5 million euros extra. Their entire budget this season is 4.5 million, and yeah, they've got a great stadium. Do you think
almost as large as RFS budget?
No, how much is RFS's budget?
It's usually around 5 to 7.
Okay, so but in theory RFS, well, they probably blew a load of money on players last season, but they had some good prize money from that as well, I guess.
Yeah, from Europa League, the recent summary by the UEFA came out, and I think they bagged a total of 6 million from that campaign, which far out earned everyone else in the Baltics combined.
So hopefully the Baltic teams can do better in Europe this season. So there's more money to invest in players, infrastructure, youth.
No, Kauno Žalgiris, So they said they want to improve the game.
Yeah. Which they are doing.
We said, well, put your money where your mouth is, and now they're doing that. They're doing that. They've increased their budget by, I think he said 50%.
Yeah.
To what you said now. We'll see what that translates into. Their signing policy, I don't think, was tremendously exciting. There weren't really big names, but again, they're doing this similar to RFS route, where they're signing proven players with experience in the league.
And that's switching to leagues. That's my worry about Riga FC, that they've signed too many players and they've taken risks there. Similar to RFS last season. I guess at Žalgiris, Vilnius, probably similar. They've sort of rotated. They brought in about 50% of their squad are new players as well, right?
Yes, but they take a different direction. So under this new management regime, they are going more the local academy player route. So they're not really signing these big names.
But they've still got Antel, they've still got the veterans.
Obviously Golubitskas, a supremely talented local player. He's back there now from Poland, where things didn't quite work out. So they have a talented squad. It's just not the Riga FC route of signing local margin superstars.
Former Valmiera's keeper also there, from the Venezuelan goalkeeper.
Yeah, Olsis is there.
Olsis did an interview. Check out www.balticfootballnews.com to see that interview. Great interview. But yeah, overall, I think Vilnius, let's quickly go on to them, struggling.
They continue the trend they set in the preseason, right? The way I see it, they are adept at scoring goals, and they're horrible at keeping them out. And so they keep treading the line, and sometimes the line doesn't get treaded, and so they lose points, which is what they've done this season a lot. So they're not where they want to be. I don't think they're happy.
They're scoring goals, but they're scoring goals, but they had a 0-0 on the weekend against Hegelmann. But league's second top scorers, 10 goals, 10 points from 6 games. Do you see any? Where do you think they're going to go in this moment? Do they need more improvement, or they just have to keep?
They need to sort out their defense. I don't know what's up with them, but you can't be conceding this many goals and be so unstable throughout the 90 minutes and hope for getting the league back, or honestly, even for top 2.
Yeah.
So how they're looking now, I wouldn't think that they would be above 3rd finishing this season. But obviously, it's way too early to say.
And then you've got some strugglers this season. Hegelmann being the 5 points from six games. Vittori, they're in big trouble. They're
always in big trouble.
They're always in trouble.
That's their modus operandi, that they're in big trouble.
Do you have any news or anything going on in Vittori?
Well, they're still there, so that's something. But no, they honestly, they're not tremendously friendly towards press. They're very obscure. The new owners are just as shady as the previous ones. And I don't know what they're doing or why.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
That's what they do.
Yeah, okay. And in terms of players that's standing out in the top sport Liiga, who's looking up for you? Who have been the good signings?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. Obviously for Kauno Žalgiris, but that's might be because they're performing well.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to see Davis Ikonex scoring as many important goals as he is, because there's a bit of Latvian quality coming back.
They're doing well, the Ikonex family this season. They're certainly, they're in the top 5 scorers in both leagues, albeit there hasn't been that many games. But good on them.
True.
Yeah, I think good signing for Kauno Žalgiris from Hegelmann. Leo Ribery, 3 goals.
That was going to be my other one, for sure.
Stole it, yeah.
Because he did so well last season with Hegelmann.
Yeah.
And he continues to do really well this season. So.
Okay, final note. Stadiums, crowds. Have you ever seen so many people at so consistently, such high crowds in Baltic football so far? No, I haven't. So Vilnius and Kaunas have been setting the tone. Yeah,
especially
incredible.
Vilnius.
Yeah.
They sold out the Sportim Arena a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, and that's an indoor arena.
How
big is that?
3.3 something thousand.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
For an indoor atmosphere.
Oh, it was great. It sounded like real football. I think I said that last time, but it sounded tremendous. If you closed your eyes, but the picture was good too. But if you closed your eyes, you could be mistaken for watching like a top 5 league game. It was fantastic.
The issue there, I spoke to one fan one travelling supporter who'd gone through 3 different countries, couldn't find the stadium in Vilnius. But other than that, I think
I don't think that's Vilnius' issue.
Moving on, the Lithuanian League it's a go-to must sort of weekend experience right now.
Always really, but if you don't want to be too cold, although they are transitioning now to outside pitches because it is getting warmer. But it's very competitive. Anyone can take on anyone.
Yeah.
Maybe not Kauno Žalgiris. They are still yet to lose a game, but they're seeming pretty formidable at the moment. But other than that, anything can happen. If you want to go to a big city or another big city or an industrial park, Lithuania really has, anything your soul might desire.
Want. Yeah, there's some interesting places to visit in Lithuania. Vilnius is a great city. Kaunas, postmodernist architecture. Former modernist architect, not postmodernist.
It's a lovely
Kaunas is interesting
historical
because
city.
It was a former capital in the 1920s, so they had to build a load of buildings. So you've got these.
It's lovely, wonderful river.
Moving on, Virslīga.
Yeah.
But just let us know your thoughts on everything going on in Lithuania. How's your team doing? What surprised you? Who do you think is going to have a good form and run? What are you worried about? Leave your comments. Make sure that you share your thoughts with us on social media. But Virslīga then, Latvia. Have you been to any games this season?
I have been to the first one. And I think that was it. My work kept me from football.
You've been working very hard, to be fair. But yeah, went to the Riga FC Auda game last Friday.
Yes,
that was a great atmosphere. Measure Parks. It was surprising. It's really busy, actually.
Oh, I can't stand that ground.
It's not your thing.
I don't know what needs to happen for you to get me there again.
Yeah, it's an interesting place. If it's in the middle of the day, then you've got a nice stroll around quite a unique city park. But
it's windy and it feels like you're basketball courtside.
Yeah,
Until you exit the ground and then you're knee deep in mud because they can't surface over the car park.
It's funny, and the lines to get a drink take a long time. But it's funny you should say that, because my friend who loves basketball likes to sit courtside said, "This is the best stadium in
if you're into that, go for it. But then go to Hansa.
Yeah. But Riga Auda, that was a great game.
Yeah.
Auda completely switched off towards the end, final 10 minutes. Little bit of inexperience there, but they were looking really sharp and fast. But Riga, last kick of the game, scored, so it was 2-1.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think overall Auda looking. I've mentioned Ibrahim on loan from Riga, very good player. They've got the French former French player from Montpellier. I forget his name, Ben something, but he's doing quite well at the moment as well. But it's a good season this year in the Virslīga for midfielders. What do you think?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, I think RFS, as I've mentioned, there's a lot of competition there with Rakic and...
In terms of goals scored, it's the best season to be a central defender, because the top scorer in the league at the moment is Marcus Osh with 3 goals scored.
Yeah, he's playing like...
If we're looking at data.
He looks like he's stepped out of a time machine from a 1970s Brazil international.
Yeah, fantastic. I love it. He was on our best 11 last season, and he picked up right where we left off.
And we did mention that he last season, super important signing, but he's leading from the front, because leading
from the back to the front, everywhere in between.
Yeah. 4 goals scored, 4 goals conceded, 4 points. So it's all about the fours for Supernova at the moment, even though they've just played 3 games. But yeah, any surprises in the lower side of the Virslīga for you? Ogre.
Honestly, I thought Jelgava would be doing better than they are. So that's a mild surprise.
And they've got RFS next game. It's going to be a tough few games for them.
It's going to be tough both ways. They did beat RFS 4-1 last year.
They've got Riga next game, I believe. Yeah.
That's going to be also difficult. But no, I mean, honestly, RFS top, we're kind of seeing Liiga are going back and forth in their form. They have excellent games, and then they have terrible games. And then the Riga, last season, they started the same way. At one point, they were 8 points behind RFS in the standings, and you announced proudly to our chat that season is over, there is no point to watch anymore, and then they've gone on to win the Virslīga for the first time since 2020. So there's no surprise there. It's they're a bit lowish now, but they're gonna put their results together.
Have you seen any of the new signings? Any new Riga FC signings impressing you at the moment?
Salazar is really impressive. He was one of those signings that we held off on announcing, because he joined Riga FC on trial in Turkey, and then the South American media were all excited, but it was just on trial. And he didn't really do super well at Hearts in Scotland beforehand. In fact, they sort of kicked him out in a way. So, but no, he's doing really, really well. He's very impressive.
He's a good player. Look sharp and quick, and can win the ball, and he's scoring. He's assisting.
Yeah.
So he's doing well. Just a final point. Auda Vengara. Panama under 21 player, 2 goals, maybe from penalties and so on, but also 2 assists, 1 to watch there. Any other players that have stood out for so far in the Virslīga?
Filip Hašek, one of the 2 Hašeks in Jelgava. He seems to have a mean shot on him, the midfielder, so he's one to watch for sure.
Geyer for Levadia is doing quite well as well.
I mean, he's old news.
Yeah, but he knows the back of the net.
He doesn't even count as a foreign player anymore in Latvia.
Okay, I didn't know that. You saw Ogre, the only game that you've attended.
Yeah, no, Ogre, I think they're interesting. I think, so they're yet to win anything, although they did score their first top
They've got 1
flight
point.
goal.
They've scored once.
Yeah, which was a draw against Jelgava, actually.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, they just need a bit more bravado or something. They seem to be well organized defensively, but they don't do much else. Although I think it's just a matter of time, honestly. They need to get over this initial. Well, we're here, these guys are way stronger than the second-tier opposition.
They look very nervous against RFS in the first 20 minutes.
So they'll get their footing. I think they'll be competitive.
Do you think they've got enough up front, enough firepower, or are they?
Well, we don't know yet because we've not seen much of it. But
they looked organised enough.
Even if they don't lose games, that's already something.
Yeah.
But you need a strong defense for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In terms of other things going on in the Virslīga, anything that stood out for you?
I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff going on. Do you have something in mind?
Well, so Daugavpils, I think they'll be fine. They're really struggling right now.
I think they have a shallow squad. Honestly, I don't know if they'll be fine. We know they tried to sign more players, but there were paperwork issues with foreign players that didn't get cleared in time.
But they've got talent. They've got a lot of talent. They've got some.
They barely have a bench.
Levadia, I'm not convinced by. I think that they're struggling with final balls. They don't quite know what their style of play is yet. I think tactically they're a little bit inconsistent. They know how to win games, and they'll beat all the smaller teams probably, but not convinced by Levadia this season.
I mean, they beat Riga.
They did beat Riga, but Riga, I think Riga's made some foolish mistakes and started the wrong players. But yeah, they did it. Maybe I'm being harsh, but you're feeling a bit more positive about Levadia.
Not as positive as I'd like to be. I'd like them to be title contenders, which they're obviously not at this point. But they should finish in top 4 comfortably. But that's just boring because you're always gonna have RFS, Riga, Auda, and Levadia. Possibly in that order.
That's the most disappointing thing so far this season, although Auda were sitting top of the league before their game against Riga.
Which is like 2 rounds in. Come on, that doesn't count.
Based on the AI predictions and so on, is this going to be a two-team sort of challenge to the title?
I think so. I don't think Auda are going to challenge for the Virslīga.
And in terms of the teams that have qualified for Europe this season, not qualified, but
they qualified for qualifications. I'm excited because so it's the 4, right? So it's RFS, Riga, Levadia, and Auda through the cup because they finished 5th in the league last season. But all 4 are looking competent. Obviously, it's still months to go, but so the top 33 seems as far away out of grasp as it ever was because of how other colleagues performed who are around us, but maybe we can get closer once again. But
you're not too optimistic about qualification in Europe this season.
So it depends on the luck of the draw as always.
Yeah, as always.
Riga FC will be seeded at least in the first round of Champions League. Yeah, but it's way too early to talk about that. Come on.
We're moving on. We're not talking about that. But it's more about Auda's squad and Levadia being, of a certain calibre. Are they ready and will they?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think these are the best teams you've seen from these clubs in the past 4 or 5 years?
Auda, no. Auda's best team I've seen was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Levadia for sure.
I think Auda are lacking one little bit of component in midfield.
They need to gel together. They need to gel. They need to get to know each other, and they have so much raw talent in the squad, and the coach seems, good.
Yeah.
So if they gel and get their playmaking going, I think they'll be better. They have what it takes to do really well.
What the Virslīga feels to me, and we'll move on in a minute to Estonia. What the Virslīga means to me feels to me is that half the teams haven't quite woken up. Half the teams are a little bit still in hibernation, and there's some teams that are stronger, confident, and going for it straight away. I'm looking at Daugavpils, Tukums, Jelgava, Grobno. On the other hand, they are looking sharp. They're doing quite well.
Honestly, I don't think
So it's
anyone's
50
woken up yet.
Okay.
We've not seen any really passionate to the wire games yet.
Well, come on, that's not true. Riga scored on the final kick of the game against Auda. They went for it at the end, just about.
Passionate, it was...
Well, they asserted their authority and they won the game, but they got lucky. But one team that have stood out, moving over all the way north to Estonia, is Nõmme Kalju, the only team not to have conceded a goal this season. Scored 6 goals in 3 games, so that's 2 a game in theory.
One Super Cup.
Won the Super Cup. They beat Saaremaa or Kuressaare 4-0 last weekend.
I mean, that's not.
I'd be worried
badge of honor.
I would be worried if I was Flora right now.
If I was Flora, I'd be worried, but for different reasons. I'd be worried losing to Harju 2-0. What that kind of shows about the readiness of theirs. But Flora started similarly again last season as well. For I think first 3 or 4 rounds they were really shaky and very unstable. But then they pulled it together and won the title back.
Yeah.
With the Kalju, I mean, the Pink Panthers seem to be up for business this year. Whether they have it to go all the way, I think is a different question. I think on paper, Paide have a stronger squad.
Okay.
But they've been not as convincing as Paide tends to be.
Why are they called the Pink Panthers when they play in black?
Well, that's one of their colors.
That's one of their colours. Does that come from
their supporters are Pink Panthers.
Okay, right.
I think it's because of pink and they want to appear ferocious.
But the alarm bells are going for Flora. But yeah, they've got a young, youthful team. They are. I looked at their possession. That they are dominating possession in most games. So they need to do something there. But yeah, for now, I think Levadia as well, just about going about their business.
Well, Levadia's business seems to be writing letters to the Football Association now and complaining about unjust refereeing and how everyone's mistreating them.
Okay, right, but Estonian refereeing is how? I mean,
it's the same for everyone.
Same for everyone.
Although there is a history
in
Estonia with certain. So let's say there are 2 clubs, both talent-based, both Sporting Green, who seem to be extra sensitive about refereeing matters to the point where allegedly one of the founders of one of those clubs, who also happens to be the longest-serving chair of FA in Europe,
I like your non-allegation.
Is allegedly exiling referees. Because
that was last season, was it not? Is it?
Well, you're talking as if last season is 10 years ago.
Exiling referees.
It was last season, and now Levadia are unhappy about some penalties, ignoring some of the things that went well for them, conveniently, and are writing letters, which is what clubs in Latvia also used to do not too long ago, to try to get the points back in the back room.
I've been impressed with the refereeing in the Virslīga. So they've allowed play to continue. They've gone quite quickly. They've made decisions fast. They've spotted diving, and I've generally been. It's been a good start for the referees in the Virslīga. Let us know your thoughts on how you think the referees have performed, whether you're in Lithuania, Estonia, or
you do
Latvia.
know that the referees in the Virslīga do not referee in the Premier League.
No, obviously not. But country by country, are you happy with the state of referees in?
So that's the thing with Levadia. Yeah, that but both Levadia and Flora, they're in a state of rebuild of different kinds at the moment. So as I mentioned in the previous show, this is a good opportunity for Kalju or Paide to come in and to get the league title.
Yeah.
And Paide seemed to be better positioned before start of season.
Yeah.
Kalju are doing it better in practice. What I am a little bit disappointed is seeing Vaprus on the bottom.
Well, the defensive seem to have an eye issue, and they've left their glasses at home.
They have a really good keeper who is pulling double duty every match, but it's just chaos every time. And they need to sort it out because they had such a good start with beating Paide 3-2, coming back from 2-0 down, and then just got hammered by Nõmme United 7-1.
They have the second worst defensive record across the Baltics, conceded 11 goals, but they've scored 5.
They're still -6.
The Riiteri have conceded 15, so they're not doing.
Honestly, I'm barely even considering Riiteri as part of the 30
equation.
clubs.
Okay, so Pärnu, but they're scoring goals. They've got 3 points. They're not the worst. You know, in Saaremaa, Kuressaare, Narva-Trans, Tartu, Pärnu, all with 3 points. So we can't quite criticise any team just yet in Estonia. Pärnu.
I'm not criticising. I'm saying that that's a negative surprise for me, and that having seen some of their games, that defense is a work of chaos.
Disappointing.
A bit is an understatement.
Yeah, Tartu as well struggled right at the start, but they scored 3-0.
Yeah, they won their last game.
Top scorer, Estonian chap, I forget his name. It will come to me at some point. But yeah, I think overall Estonia is slowly warming up, plenty going on. Any final points with Estonia?
I mean, Manilan got a call up to the national team on the back of his excellent performances for Kalju, so that's exciting. We'll see if he gets a debut in this Rwanda tournament that Estonia is participating in now, in this international window. But other than that, no, I mean, stuff is happening. It's a little unfortunate, this whole letter writing situation. That's never a good sign for the integrity and composition of the league. It wasn't a good chapter in Latvia, so we have some experience there.
But overall,
overall, you were surprised by things. I'm less so.
Well, it's nice to see Tartu getting a 3-0 win and picking up points, and I like the manager there. 3-2. They beat Nõmme United.
Yeah, so. but I'm looking forward to seeing if Kalju can keep the run
going,
because Kalju also, if you remember, they in our previous years Baltic Power rankings, they were the team that gained the most places of anyone. I think they rose up by like 11 places.
Okay.
So they are objectively and numerically on the up and up, and that's exciting.
Be sure to check out the Baltic Power rankings. It's not quite a secret formula. Is it a secret formula?
It's not a secret formula.
Coefficient points for every single Baltic club. So if you want to see where your team fits across all 3 leagues, make sure you visit www.balticfootballnews.com. So I guess that moves us on to some of the bad, slightly more disappointing things that have happened so far. Not quite including Auda's 3 red cards in 3 straight games.
Just a French passion there.
Bit of French passion
there. It's a bit of this, rioting in your blood. The coaches.
Make sure you're wearing your shin pads when you're playing Auda this season, because
maybe a helmet.
Yeah, they're on the energy drinks this season.
As Chernomordis might.
But there was one slightly tragic, really sad incident in Lithuania. A very sad moment in Lithuania when an off-field incident involving Dynava's Chinonsa Jeremiah Obi, Nigerian player, tragically got stabbed. Fortunately, he was out of hospital. He was after one day, but he got stabbed 3 or 4 times, multiple times, out just as he was leaving his apartment, and it was deemed what we believe was a racist incident. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know if they released the verdict yet, but some youngster went and stabbed this Nigerian young player. And
a 22-year-old in the middle of a day.
22-year-old.
I believe he's 22 years old.
I think they said he was born in 2007.
Okay.
Which would place him at 19.
19. So yeah. Something's clearly wrong there. But what's your thoughts and belief on racism that, within football?
We don't know that it was
Baltics?
racism for sure, although the connection is jumping off the page, as it were. My thoughts are that this isn't an isolated incident. If we're taking things into beyond football into account, it's not enough for the Football Federation or club to condemn it. Just the bare minimum. We've seen racism show its ugly head elsewhere. A couple of years ago in Latvia and Virslīga, there were issues with Auda, I believe, players being subjected to racist abuse on the pitch from the stadium, and it's no one's talking about it.
No one's talking about it. I mean, coming from the UK, having lived in London, there's certainly a different analysis and interpretation of multicultural societies here, in my opinion, and words within particularly the Latvian language that you'd get cancelled in the UK for certain words used.
Well,
Latvia,
that's what I don't think anyone actually uses that word. They use black-skinned instead. But
I've heard it enough times. I think overall these are very, very safe countries. Not quite. No. Not quite, but yeah, I think the Baltics are safe enough countries.
They're very, very safe countries, and that's statistically proven. But so last year you did an interview with the British guy, Vasiri Williams, who is a black guy, and he talked to you through his experience in Daugavpils, which is a very, very
it's not very multicultural.
Yeah, let's put it that way. Although I do know from my work that in Daugavpils University there are a number of students from African countries. Okay. So, but in any case, he put it, I think, very charitably. He said that people there kind of need a bit more education, and in a sense, yes, that's one part of it. That there genuinely isn't all that much exposure. And when I was growing up here in Riga in the 90s and early 2000s, people would say that, look at those in the West. It's like racism. We're not racist. We don't have, that's not an issue for us. Yeah, there were no people of color here. Yeah, everyone's white. Of course you're not racist. The greatest diversity here at that time were Central Asians. Yeah,
because of the Soviet Union.
So people from Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan and all the stans. So that, like maybe from Caucasian region as well. So like a shade darker. But come on, that doesn't count. And then once the diversity started showing up, and especially now, and that's not only in Latvia, that's also in Lithuania. I think a bit less so in Estonia. With all the students coming from Southeast Asia and India to study here, suddenly it's just sickening to see. Like I was in Rimi, which is the large supermarket chain in the Baltics, a couple of weeks back, and I saw this huge white Latvian guy just go and harass this little Indian girl.
Okay,
it was
sad to see.
It was horrible, and just the grin on that stupid face of his. But it is what it is.
Incidents,
problem is that we're not talking about it. Do we genuinely want to have our countries, which not us, but our forefathers and fathers fought for independence, like that? Do we want to be as shallow, not to look beyond what color someone's skin is? Is that the level of insight that we're gonna afford ourselves?
There's a period of populism,
we need, on the one hand, there needs to be more education, more exposure, because sometimes you've never seen a black person. It's like, what's that like? It's genuine curiosity, but when that transitions into some kind of we're better than them, or even us versus them on any account, that needs to be addressed, and it isn't.
I think there's quite fixated political opinions and where people see themselves on the political spectrum here.
I don't think racism is politics, though.
Well, I think there's a lot more of a right-leaning psychology here, which is very different to often the UK. But having lived in Korea and visited Japan a lot, there are far worse extreme places as well. But I think, footballers come here, they are to a certain extent entertainers, they come here to ploy their trade, and they just want to do their best for their clubs and the people watching. And I think it's supporters' role to be as supportive as possible. And of course, nobody wants any form of hate crime going on within any country. I'm an immigrant. I don't want to be, for now, I don't want to be offended or anything like that. But this is how it goes. So wishing the player involved all the best in recovery, and looking for, hopefully we'll see him back on the pitch soon. Just final points, any players that, superstars in the making at the moment?
I mean, what kind of a question is that here?
Well, you've got, Sadie for RFS, N'Golo Kante in the making.
Yeah, but look, players, is one thing, but there's international break, and Latvia does have games that matter in that break, which is the 2 games against Gibraltar for remaining or not remaining in Nations League Group C, or League C, what are they called? Level C. So 1 from the car park, 1 up from the car park. And these will be the games that will also decide the future of Paolo Nicolato, who has been in charge for 20 games now, losing exactly half of them.
He got his contract renewed, though, did he not?
Only until April.
Okay. And
he only won 3 games in this period, which is not great.
I have reserved opinions on. I think Latvia should have got a lot more results. I think the 5-0 against England was exceptionally poor and highly frustrating. They do have some good news from the national team. They are bringing in Sunderland left back Dennis Cirkins.
Yeah,
which is super exciting.
News from the northeast. He can't debut yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, waiting for the paperwork. Should take a month, but he will be a big sports star in Latvia in the future. So looking forward to that. And I think that's a really positive way to end this episode. And one quick final point. You're probably listening to this podcast on the Virslīga app. But did you know that the Virslīga app was built by Blocksport, a sports tech company? Be sure to check them out whether you're visiting our website. Click on the banner link and have a look. And if you need anything sports tech app, data related, go and have a look at blocksport.com.
Yeah, Levadia's app was also built for them, just launched a month ago.
And I believe Kalju as well, top of the league, clearly getting the commercial benefits there.
Beyond the Virslīga app that you're talking about, they also are behind Virslīga's website.
Okay. And who does fantasy football? How's your team doing?
Oh, terrible! My worst start since I started.
Yeah, I sort of took my attention off it. I sold Lemijic, and the next day he goes and scores 2 goals.
I already used up my whole team reset thingy, and it's still poor. So.
Ramirez, you've had a good start. Start banging in more goals, please. And we'll see what happens. But fantasy football, it's another great. Across all 3 leagues have fantasy.
Well, it helps if you're aware of what's actually going on, of the events in the leagues, of post-match press conferences, and you can get those on BalticFootballNews.com, now also in French.
Now also in French, and I love to go on the websites, whether I'm in Vilnius, Kaunas, Tartu, Tallinn, Riga, Liiga, I can always go straight to the website homepage, see all the fixture lists, see all the results. It is the most go-to digest of Baltic Football League information you'll find on the internet. But for now, I guess it's been a good start. Remember to, whether you're in Lithuania, Virslīga, check out your fantasy football, keep that active. Please follow us, comment, subscribe, and support us along this journey, because it's going to be an epic season, I think, especially with the players involved. But thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next time.